Yo, what's up, guys? Everyone, today might be talking about New Orleans Pelicans, and now they have been absolutely, without a doubt, they've been one of the most entertaining teams in basketball, and they're doing this most without their stud Brandon Ingram, which is absolutely insane. But other than that, let's get straight into the video. The New Orleans Pelicans this season have just been absolutely lethal. Okay, as I'm recording this video, they are currently 23-14, a game out of first place over the Denver Nuggets, and half a game behind the second place Memphis Grizzlies. The Pelicans are just an incredible team, and it really is just insane how they are this good at their strength. I remember making a video, I believe this was probably my junior year of high school, pop it up somewhere here, where I was talking about the New Orleans Pelicans and how I'm extremely high in the future. Scary part about all of this is they have a chance of having one of the top picks in this year's NBA draft, as they had the Lakers pick from the Anthony Davis trade, which also led to them guys like Brandon Ingram and guys like Josh Hart, and definitely help them in terms of their future, which is already super bright. So imagine them having the ability to add on a guy like a Victor Wembanyama or a guy like a Scoot Henderson, having the Lakers first round pick. Like, that's just absolutely asinine, absolutely insane. But yeah, the New Orleans Pelicans are 23-14 on the season, and they have not really been slowing down. I mean, they are 5-5 in their last 10, but they also are 16-4 at home. New Orleans Pelicans in Louisiana. Every time I watch a Pelicans game, that place is absolutely rocking. New Orleans is slowly becoming a basketball town. The Saints really have not been having a good season whatsoever, and the Pelicans are on the rise, one of the best teams in basketball, and I am extremely high on this team, not only for this year, but for many years to come, as their future, like I said a couple years ago, was extremely bright. So much to the fact that they're currently averaging the third most points in the NBA behind the Boston Celtics and the Sacramento Kings, as they're averaging 117.4 points per game, which is just absolutely insane. I mean, the team has the talent, so it really doesn't shock me, but still, that is a plethora of points made every single game. And it all really starts with absolute superstar Zion Williamson, who I think at this point definitely should be locked in to make the All-Star team as a starter. Zion Williamson, as you know, the big knock on him is just his inability to stay on the court, because when he plays, he is one of the most entertaining players in basketball, and up there with the likes of guys like Ja Morant, guys like LeBron James, guys like Luka Doncic. Just absolutely just incredible players that you want to have the chance to go ahead and watch in person, because they're just so damn fun to watch. Honestly, Zion Williamson is averaging 26 points, 7 rebounds, 4.6 assists, shooting 60.8% from the field and 36.8% from the three-point line. Zion Williamson is just an absolute force to be reckoned with in the paint. He cannot be stopped. He will not be stopped. And he's just really crafty, really good at getting himself to the free throw line. He is shooting 71% from the free throw line. Obviously, you want that to be higher, but he also probably will continue to improve that every single year in his NBA career, which definitely will help him out, because he's getting to the free throw line now about an average of 8.6 times a game and making 6.1 free throws, so right about 71.4%. Zion Williamson also is really a good rebounder. He just always in really the right spot every single time. Obviously, he has the size in front to be a really good rebounder. A very underrated part about Zion Williamson's game is his playmaking. Zion Williamson, as a 6'6" power forward, is averaging 4.6 assists per game, which is just absolutely insane, because we know how dominant he is on offense, that he doesn't really need to pass the ball too much. But the fact that he actually is willing and is actually a pretty solid playmaker and passer is definitely amazing to add, because not only is he an absolute freight train offensively, and he can literally go coast to coast anytime he wants to, because he's just an absolute behemoth of a man, but can also rebound very well. He can also go ahead and play make pretty well, and the fact that he's now willing to shoot threes and mid-range shot, I know his three and his mid-range shot isn't by any means automatic, but the fact that he's actually willing to shoot them, he also hit a shot in the clutch recently in his career high 43-point game, where he hit a clutch shoot with like a minute and a half left to go in the game, and then after that he gets the steal, gets the dunk, and ends up winning the game for the New Orleans Pelicans over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Zion Williamson is an absolute beast, one of the superstars in basketball, one of the best players plural in basketball. The man is an absolute beast. Definitely a guy you want to go ahead and build your team around for the future, the man is simply him. And then there is Brandon Ingram, who's only played 15 games this season, yet the New Orleans Pelicans are only a game out of first place in the Western Conference. Brandon Ingram is another guy that I am extremely high on. Been watching him since he was at Duke with Coach K. He is so damn good. Definition of a 3-level scorer in this season like no other. He's also been having a pretty good year. His numbers are a bit skewed because he's missed like half of games, and those obviously have accounted to his points, but he's averaging 20.8 points, 5.1 rebounds, 4.7 assists. Another guy as well that is a pretty underrated playmaker. There's another guy that can get to his spots, especially the mid-range, where he also, like a guy like a DeMar DeRozan or Kevin Durant, has an extremely silky smooth mid-range jump shot. Also does have a good three-point shot as well, but his mid-range shot definitely is his bread and butter. And he's also extremely athletic at 6'8" at the small forward position. And he can get to the rim with the best of them. He is really crafty around the rim, very athletic. He's just a 3-level scorer, can rebound as well, can play make. The man is a prototypical NBA just scoring demon, okay? And to have this guy as your number 2 behind Zion Williamson is just absolutely, as we saw last year, he was the number 1 in the Suns series with the Pelicans, barely lost, I believe, in 6 games to the Phoenix Suns, who are one of the best teams last season in the regular season 4 in the NBA. And he put the team on his back. He was absolutely lethal, and now he's the number 2 to this team. Yeah, this team is absolutely scary. He's shooting 47.2% from the field and 46.7% from 3 on about 4 attempts per game. The man is absolutely lethal. And the one thing with him is he just needs to get on the court, because when he gets on the court, he provides. He's a guy that I think will be not only a perennial all-star in the NBA, but potentially a perennial all-NBA guy in the NBA. Just stay on the court, B.I. Just stay on the damn court. And then there's CJ McCollum, which basically caps off their big 3 with Zion, B.I., and him. McCollum has definitely had a rocky season, but definitely as of recent, he's been picking it up. Had a career-high 42-point game recently. On this season, in 33 games, McCollum is averaging 20 points on the dot, 4.8 rebound, 6 assists per game. And don't forget, McCollum is playing a brand new position. I know he played point guard basically last year for the Pelicans as well, post the Blazers trade, but McCollum is a shooting guard playing the point guard position. I know he's technically 6'3", so he's a undersized shooting guard, but this was his position that he was playing with the Blazers, and Damian Lillard, who was setting him up, being a really good playmaker as well. McCollum is playing a brand new position. He's not only scoring the ball, especially very, very well recently, but he also is playmaking very, very well as well. So definitely shout out to him, playing a brand new position with a brand new team, and his ability to not only look for a shot as well, but look for his teammates as well. Definitely a really good player as well. Just want to see some more consistency out of him. He's definitely been a really inconsistent this season. If you want to see him pick that up, especially when BI comes back. So that big 3 really can flourish at the same exact time. So McCollum is one of these guys that when he is on, when BI is on, when Zion is on, this is one of the best teams in basketball, plural. So definitely need to see some more consistency out of him. But when he's on, the man is an absolute bucket. And he also is becoming a really damn good playmaker as well for this New Orleans Pelicans team. And then they have one of the best shooters in basketball in Trey Murphy, a.k.a. Trigger Trey. Trey Murphy III is one of the best shooters in basketball this season. He's averaging 12.7 points, 4.2 rebounds, 1.3 assists, as he's shooting 48.2% from the field and 42% from the three-point line, with also shooting 91.4% from the free throw line. Trey Murphy is an absolute sniper. He's one of the best shooters in basketball. He's also pretty damn athletic. He has a couple of posts this year. I did not know prior to this year that Trey Murphy can get up like that, but he is freakishly low-key athletic. Has an absolute cannon on him, is an absolute sniper, and he has some really good range as well, and he is oozing with confidence. There's not a three-point shot in the world that Trey Murphy will not take. I feel like he has confidence from literally anywhere on the court. The man is an absolute bucket, and the fact that he can not only drive to the rim very, very well, but also have the ability to shoot the three-point shot at an elite clip as well. Yeah, Trey Murphy's an absolute bucket. Can't wait to see his NBA career go along, and definitely He's been improving in terms of his defense as well. Definitely see another one of these guys becoming a 3-and-D guy as well. Definitely been locking this year defensively. Just want to see some more consistency out of him in terms of his defense. And then there is Herb Jones, who's basically the polar opposite of a guy like Trey Murphy. Herb Jones is an absolute defensive stud, one of the best on-ball defenders in basketball. The guy is willing to go and play against and defend the opposition's best player, and he will do this game in and game out. Just an absolute massive fan of Herb Jones. Really got into him last year in his rookie season, and he definitely has been having another good season so far in his sophomore year for the New Orleans Pelicans, as he's averaging 10.2 points, 3.8 rebounds, 2.2 assists. It's an absolute defensive stud, averaging 1.4 steals and shooting 42.5% from the field and 28% from three. Herb Jones is a defensive absolute demon, but in terms of his shooting, there are definitely ways to go ahead and improve that. Okay, Herb Jones is not scared to shoot threes. He shoots about 3-3-point shots a game. The thing with Herb Jones is every time I see him shoot threes, I feel like he's always flat, or he just puts a little bit too much on it. He just needs to go ahead and master that. That definitely has to be one of the big things you need to work on this offseason, just mastering the 3-point shot, especially the corner 3-point shot, because I feel like he's always open in the corner. It's just a little bit too flat, or just puts a little bit too much on it. So go ahead and perfect that, and Herb Jones will be, again, one of the best 3-and-D players in basketball, because we know he's just an absolute pest on defense. One of the opposition's best player is seeing Herb Jones on the court and guarding them. They have to call for a media screen, which Herb Jones will try his hardest to fight through, but sometimes he won't get it, so there's that. And then to wrap up the Pelicans starting five, you obviously have Jonas Valanciunas, starting center, guy from the Grizzlies trade. Very underrated guy as well, in my opinion. He's averaging 13.5 points in a season, 9.5 rebounds, 1.8 assists. One of the best rebounders in basketball. Just a really crafty guy. He does get a little bit of foul trouble, which really isn't good, and he gets subbed out sometimes in the fourth quarter because obviously he's an absolute sloth on defense. Pretty good rim protector though, but not really a guy you can be able to switch. That's why you have to bring in a guy like Larry Nance Jr. to be able to switch on the opposition's players as well. Jonas Valanciunas is shooting 51.7% from the field this season and 36.2% from the 3-point line as well. He definitely can get hot. He has some pretty good moves inside the paint as well. There's some nice veterans to add to this Pelicans team as well. That also, when he is hot as well, this team is really hard to stop and damn near unbeatable. And then the Pelicans have quietly one of my favorite players to go ahead and watch in terms of, especially off the bench. They have Jose Alvarado, aka GTA, aka Grand Theft Alvarado. He really came onto the scene last season as well, just like a guy like Herb Jones, because of his defense, because the fact that he would go in the backcourt, go from behind and try to get a steal off the opposition's like point or something like that. I remember he did that one time, I believe, against Chris Paul in the playoffs. He went from behind like he was a thief. Chris Paul wasn't looking, went ahead, boom, he got him. And then obviously after that, Chris Paul, as we know, just an absolute mastermind. He saw it the next time, I believe, out and wasn't able to get the steal, unfortunately, for Jose Alvarado. But on the season, Jose Alvarado's averaged 8.7 points, 2.3 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and he's shooting 41% from the field and 33.1% from the 3-point line, while also adding on 1.3 steals per game. Again, like Herb Jones, is an absolute pest on defense, and is a guy as well that his 3-point shot has definitely been looking a lot better this year. Remember, he had a game earlier on in the season last month against the Denver Nuggets, went ahead in 27 minutes. He had 38 points, 3 rebounds, shot 8 for 11 from the 3-point line, and 12 for 19 from the field. Alvarado's another guy as well that, even though he is 6 foot tall, which is pretty short for the NBA, he's damn good around the rim. In terms of his layups, getting to the rim, pretty crafty. Just an all-around, just underrated player. His 3-point shot definitely has been a lot better this season, and he, like I said, he's just an absolute pest on defense. Really fun to watch a guy like him. Remember latching onto him last year, especially after that clip I saw on Twitter where D'Angelo Russell was like, "Can he shoot?" And before the shot, Alvarado was like, "Yes, I can shoot." Sunk the shot, and then Mike picked up all of that. That was when I really just was like, yeah, Alvarado, I gotta root for him, man. I gotta root for him. And so far, so good. He's been damn good this season off the bench for the New Orleans Pelicans. And then there's Larry Nance Jr., who was just talking about, who on the season is averaging 8.6 points, 5.6 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and he's shooting 64.1% from the field and 40% from three on about 1 attempt per game. And he's also averaging 1 steal per game as well. Like I said earlier, he's a guy that can be able to switch on, especially in the fourth quarter against the opposition, and he's a pretty solid defender. He is at the height of 6'8", playing the power forward position. He also does obviously come for units volunteers in the fourth quarter at certain times to play the small ball center, to go ahead and be able to switch him around for the defense and help with all of that. And he's definitely been huge for them coming off the bench this season. He's also went ahead in that OT game against the Lakers. He went ahead and was a big part of that. Just an absolutely insane lob threat, extremely athletic, and just a really fun guy to watch. Really good guy to come off the bench for you guys. It's just really nice to see. And then last but not least, there is point guard Dyson Daniels, who they got this year from the NBA draft, with the number 8 pick, who so far this season in 28 games is averaging 4.5 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game. Dyson Daniels is a guy that recently has been definitely picking it up. Been getting a lot of more minutes recently, definitely been getting some of Devontae Graham's minutes as well. Dyson Daniels is a guy that most of his effort comes from defense, but he also is a guy, because he is 6'7" at the point guard position, he is freakishly athletic as well. His 3-point shot isn't quite there yet, but he probably will continue to improve that as his career goes along, as he's shooting 46% from the field and 39% from three and 62.5% from the free throw line. As we know, the big moment this year that Dyson Daniels choked was the game with the Lakers, where he missed 2 free throws. The Pelicans were up by 3. Matt Ryan goes ahead and makes a 3, ties the game, and the Lakers end up winning that game in OT. All he had to do was sink one of the 2 free throws. He missed them both, and after that, it was a GG. So that's definitely a learning moment right there for Dyson Daniels. Definitely needs to continue to work on his jump shot, because his defense is absolutely insane, which you would expect of a guy that is 6'7". So there's that as well. But yeah, man, the Pelicans this season have just been absolutely insane. Definitely one of the best teams of basketball to watch this season. The Pelicans' future is going to continue to get even better. Imagine if they, like I said, if they get a guy like Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson, like at least a top 5 pick. That is absolutely insane, because they just got Zion a couple years back, not going overall pick. They got B.I., who's the number 2 overall pick a couple years back, traded for him from the Lakers, and now you might get another top 5 or top 10 pick to add with this team. Maybe that pick ends up getting traded for a star player. At this point, who knows, man? Who knows, okay? But other than that, yo, that is the video. So go down below, drop a like, comment down below, sub up. Just follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok, boy John. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out, man. Peace.